Statistically, every other day this year, somebody in France has been physically robbed of their crypto.
I'm so sick of that. Like, we don't need another private L1. We need like private DeFi that everyone can use.
I've definitely tornadoed the cash and railed the guns in my day.
I'm an ex-FTX user, I know.
There was a rumor that the government was going to surveil the payments and try to impose taxes and stuff.
Does anyone still use Lightning nodes?
I don't disclose my movements.
Will privacy win?
Pretty in privacy.
Hello everyone, my name is Angie. This is Pretty in Privacy podcast, and I'm here today with Iggy from Starknet Foundation. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Ange.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a hot New York summer day,
It's very hot.
but the AC in here is quite powerful, so I'm chill at the moment.
Cool. Tell us about yourself. What are you known for? What are you doing?
Sure. I'm first and foremost a crypto user. I've been in the crypto industry for about 8 years. My specialty has been DeFi for quite a while now. I love the idea of having more solid money and earning yield in this better money than we currently have. And it's something that I want everyone to have, not just us nerds, not just devs, not just power users. I want it to be something simple and easy to use and intuitive for everybody else.
Cool. Do you remember how you got your first crypto, or how you actually became crypto user?
Yeah. It was kind of dumb luck and just endless curiosity.
Yeah.
So I was doing digital marketing consulting on the side while working at this law firm, and I stumbled upon this potential client that said, "Hey, we need help with marketing because we're looking for more ICO clients." And I said, "What are ICOs?" And he said, "Have you ever heard of Bitcoin?"
What
Uh,
year was
this was 2017.
it?
And so I kind of fell into a rabbit hole, read dozens of white papers, and given New York City is full of meetups, I decided to attend some of them, and I really liked the movement, how it was such a convergence of different industries, from law to technology to finance, to cypherpunk culture, and started making a few friends, started exchanging events and stuff, and just kind of found my way into working in it full time.
This is so crazy. It sounds like exactly like my story, because I got in crypto around 2017 as well. Back then, I worked as a journalist, and a friend of mine said, "We're gonna write about like blockchain and crypto. Are you willing to try?" And I also started reading white papers, interviewing founders, and I found it like really, really interesting, like emerging technology, something super new and fun. And I love when people get into crypto through actual curiosity, not because of like hype. And of course, we all want to earn money. That's
Sure.
okay.
Yep.
But also like caring about tech. That's something I really appreciate in people in crypto.
Yeah, I love the empowerment that it brings when you can kind of custody your own money and no government or, you know, like institution can say, no, you can't own your own money. Like you can't do what you want with it, even if you're not going to hurt anybody. So I love the empowerment that it brings. And it can be really satisfying when you're, you have full sovereignty over your own funds and your own like well-being, financial well-being.
Yeah, cool. Regarding privacy, we can all agree that privacy meta finally started to pick up, right? Even though like Zcash, Tornado Cash, Monero, they are in the space for like a good amount of years, people really started to talk about it, I guess, like within the last 10 to 12 months. Yeah. And I'm curious on your take. Do you think people actually care about privacy? Do retail crypto folks actually care about it? Or is just like temporary trend that will pass?
I don't think we're aware enough of how much we need it. Um, Statistically, every other day this year, somebody in France has been physically robbed of their crypto. And given all of these data breaches and AI and all the data that's out there, you can find ways to narrow down people's addresses when you extract enough data and information from the chain, from off chain, from personal data. It actually is quite scary. So I think that in a year or two, it'll be kind of an industry norm to like shield your balances and try to, you know, like obfuscate what you do as much as you can in the most private way. And I've been in DeFi for about 5-6 years full time, so I've definitely tornadoed the cash and railed the guns in my day. Uh, so and that was our way of kind of keeping our you know business private to ourselves. And um, so the the user experience of it was not the most intuitive because you have to manage new wallets every time you shield and unshield. The fees are pretty high. The user experience is not that not that incredible. So it's kind of hard to design a fluid experience. So even if everybody knew how much we needed it, I don't think we've mastered how to deliver that experience to retail.
That's for sure. We have a long way to go as an industry, as privacy builders.
Yeah.
And I love to say that, yeah, we're like technically competing all the teams, but after all, we need to provide the best user experience that we can. And it doesn't matter if it's going to be ZK, FBT, MPC, whatever. Like, I don't care. As a user, I do not care what underlying technology I'm using, as long as experience is good and fees are not too crazy.
Yeah. So with Starknet, we've come out with Stark 20.
I just saw it
as of today. Yeah. So we just announced it. Hooray! It is live. So what that allows people to do is shield their ERC20 asset and hide their balances and hide their transfers so they don't appear on chain at all. What will also be enabled is privately swapping different assets from within that privacy pool without revealing your wallet in that process. So it's a very nifty, creative way of still using the liquidity in the unshielded and the end. Right. So we don't put liquidity in the private layer to swap in between. What happens is that there's a helper anonymizing contract that pulls out that liquidity so that your wallet doesn't show. It pulls out the liquidity, does the swap on the unshielded layer where all the liquidity is on every DEX, does the swap, and then shields that asset for you back into the privacy pool. So it's like a really nifty, creative way of like not having to have a whole layer of new millions in liquidity, which is very capital intense, but still deliver that like anonymous swap experience goal that users.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So it's anonymous. It's not just amounts are hidden, but like wallet addresses are hidden as well.
Correct. So, I mean, technically, the amounts can get revealed, like when the funds come out of the privacy pool.
Oh yeah.
But like, there's no owner wallet attached. It's just a single contract.
Yeah.
So it's a decent workaround for now. And on trying this out myself because I'm a user and I like to like build with user experience.
Yeah.
In mind. We have the whole shielding happening not on a separate dApp on a separate web page, but it's inside the wallet. So the two foremost native wallets on Starknet are Ready and Xverse, and you can do the shielding entirely in that wallet. There's a shield button. You click it. It's very straightforward. It just walks you through. This is what you do. You accept this transaction. You do this. You shield. Voila. You are now shielding assets. So it is actually it's the most intuitive user experience I have encountered, like as in using privacy applications thus far. And I know I'm biased, but
Phoenix.
I know I'm biased, but like I have been using this for a while now. I've for everything from Aztec to Tornado to Railgun, and I love these apps. They've helped me in the past. Thank you all because this is like we're all pushing things forward, right? We're all trying to iterate on like a certain goal, and I'd be happy to try out Phoenix at some point.
Yeah, I love to see like privacy trend growing and all that stuff. But every time I see here's another private L1,
Yeah.
or like, I'm so sick of that. Like, we don't need another private L1. We need like private DeFi that everyone can use. So, what do you think is like the main use case in DeFi or like crypto overall that is not possible without privacy?
Mm, I mean, payroll is a thing I'm exploring
Yeah.
because, like, having worked in DAOs, when you are getting paid by a wallet, a treasury, you can also see what they're paying everybody else. And like that obviously wouldn't work on a massive global scale in every workplace. If everyone saw what each other was getting paid, you would want those payments to be like private. Uh, so I think payroll is a great way to do that, especially for companies that are paying people with Tether or USDC.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a really great use case that I'm exploring. Um, but also just general payments. There's some like I met this gentleman named JB while I was in line for this club event in Ken, as one does at a crypto conference. And he said he was working on a neobanking app for Brazilians, like focused on Brazilians and Latin America at first, because there was this payments provider called Pix.
Mm-hmm.
There was a rumor that the government was going to surveil the payments and try to impose taxes and stuff. And so because of that, like payments went down by like 10-15% across the whole country off of a rumor. So Brazilians really care about like their own privacy and their own sovereignty over their own personal information and what they do with their money.
As everyone should.
Yeah, absolutely. So he was building on, this solution. I told him about Stark 20 and he's like, "Oh, this is a perfect fit. Let's go. Let's get right to it." So they're right now hacking away trying to jumpstart their neobank with payments powered by Stark 20. Should be out maybe September, October.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Cool. We are also very interested in confidential payroll. We're exploring confidential stablecoin model and doing some things on that frontier that
Cool.
are a bit early to announce. But I overall think that if we want like real adoption for crypto, if we want people to use it as money on a daily and large enterprises, companies, there is no way they can do that in public
Sure.
state.
Right, and also in a compliant way. I think that's kind of an elephant in the room at the moment, right? You can't, like Tornado Cash is illegal. There's a lot of gray areas for these privacy products. So we we did our best to make the most compliant solution possible. We have a third party actually screen the addresses that try to deposit into the privacy pool so that if there's, yeah, like something like that, you don't have to go through a whole KYC thing, but it does screen your address like before the assets enter the privacy pool. And if it's on a list or something, then the transaction fails, like it rolls back. So that's our way of like protecting ourselves and still trying to offer the solution, like the result for the user. Yeah.
Mhm.
So as long as you're not a terrorist or like a hacker, you can benefit from privacy.
Yeah. We're also working actively on the selective disclosure feature because, like, you need to have privacy for some parts, but then you need to be able to disclose some things, like,
Hmm.
let's say, to your tax info if you have to like pay taxes from your income, and sometimes like you're like, okay, how do I tackle this if like all my funds are private? I have like Tornado Cash. Of course, you get like you're gonna go in jail. So selective disclosure is something I personally like as a feature, and I would want to see it like you know in every single dApp that I'm using on a daily, like Uniswap. Okay, I'm able to switch between like public and private mode, and also provide a way to some people to like see the data that I'm comfortable with
Mhm.
them seeing.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm overall super excited on how it will all evolve. Like we see so many privacy teams.
Yeah, I agree. There's so many different markets to explore, so many different niches and customer profiles. So we actually came out with strkBTC about a month ago, and this is purely for the Bitcoiners who want to have that privacy experience without selling their Bitcoin for Zcash or Monero, or using a centralized exchange where it could get confiscated. And
I'm an
yeah.
ex-FTX user. I know.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. So there's not a lot of great options, especially for the Bitcoiner, and usually they're kind of cypherpunk leaning and want to have that anonymity um, benefit. And obviously, Bitcoin is a public chain, and you cannot necessarily hide all your information through Bitcoin at all. You can only just kind of pseudonymize it. And so Stark BTC is a way to how it works is you bridge your BTC one-to-one to Stark BTC through the Stark BTC bridge. And then it lives on Starknet. And then from there, you can shield through your Ready or Xverse wallet. So, yes, there are different new introduced trust assumptions in the process. But for the user who really cares about hiding their balances and they don't want people knowing like what they're carrying, this is a pretty user-friendly solution. It's a lot easier than like having a Lightning node and having to do all those things.
Does anyone
It's more.
still use the Lightning nodes?
I
I'm just
mean,
curious.
you go to a Bitcoin conference and these Bitcoin
I cannot.
maxis, they think that everyone can do this.
Yeah, and also RGB thing.
Right. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
so obsessed, and that's why I do not do Bitcoin
Yeah.
conferences.
So you got to have like some awareness of like what people are willing to do and what kind of learning curve they're willing to undergo to do something new. Yeah.
Cool. I want to talk about that on the product side later on.
Sure.
The last question on privacy is, what do you think, and let's say in 5 years from now, what is the thing that we will be like thinking, oh, that's crazy that it used to be public in crypto, you know? What is the use case or I don't know, dApp or like literally anything that doesn't make sense to have it public, but we still do?
Maybe public addresses. Like it's a string of letters and numbers. It's not really that beautiful. It's not as expressive. What if I could just have, Iggy as my address and you send it to Iggy?
Mhm.
I know that there's solutions, for that now, but it's not the norm. Most people still just use that string of letters, and maybe in a few years you can just condense it to your handle and say, send it here.
Yeah. I love how like centralized exchanges nailed the user experience. So newbies do not actually understand that they are interacting with crypto. Like when you use Binance or Kraken or Base, um, you actually feel like you're using just some neobank app or like I don't know, trading stocks or whatever. It doesn't feel like crypto anymore, which was a thing, let's say, 5 years ago.
Mhm.
So I feel like it would be cool for DeFi to achieve that level of simplicity and
I-
abstraction as well. And when it comes to privacy as well. So users don't need to know like, is it ZK? Is it Starknet? Is it
Right, right.
Phoenix? They
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah, some things are kind of moving slower than we might have thought, right? So there's, there are ways to kind of you submit your email and then it creates wallets for you, and we're kind of making progress there, but it's still not like massively adopted yet. So
But we'll
yeah,
get
slow moving.
there. We'll get there. Cool. When it comes to product research, um, there is so much noise in the space, even though now it's like bear market kind of maybe less noise, but still, how do you assess? Like, do you do product research? Do you talk to teams like online, offline, or you go to crypto Twitter? Like, what are your go-to ways to assess? Oh, this is actually a cool use case. We should build like a demo or a product around it. Or, oh no, it's not worth our time.
Yeah, that's a really good question because some people they imagine audiences in their own head that need their idea when it becomes a reality, no one really cares.
And they're like,
So,
oh, I was
yeah,
wrong.
I think a good proving ground for your product is to go to conferences and talk to those target like audiences and see like for example, I went to a Bitcoin conference in maybe March, January, and I wanted to see how interested all these Bitcoin institutions were in earning yield on their Bitcoin, and why are they not jumping on DeFi? They can get so much better rates than, such and such. And the answer turned out that they actually, some of them cannot compliantly earn yield off of non-KYC money. And even if they're big fans of what we have to offer, it's like their lawyers just won't let them do it. And so some things have to advance in the industry for audiences to be unlocked, even if they really want what you can offer. So sometimes it's a timing thing. But I think the best thing is to just go to conferences and talk to builders, talk to potential customers, talk to funds. And I think you'll always come out with something surprising. Like with that Brazilian neobank that I met in Cannes, France. So
Yeah, that's a perfect way. I feel like the worst thing that any like startup or even large team can do is build in their bubble and not go out and not ask like what actually resonates with the users. And then they spend like years on building those products that will never get any adoption.
Right.
So
yeah, and but that there is a level of when you build something, you still have to go sell it, even if you know who that audience is. I think sometimes you have builders like working at a foundation that gives grants to builders to actually build products that hopefully get users into the ecosystem. Some of them think that if they just build it, everyone's going to flock to it, even if it is a great dApp and it's well built and all these things. You still have to go out there and sell it and convince people that this is exactly what they need to solve exactly the problem that they have. So yeah, these days we're being a little bit more frugal with our grants and only issuing them to like the hungriest of the builders,
yeah, that is cool. I want to address kind of the elephant in the room, which is AI revolution. So Anthropic just announced that they are still releasing Mythos, even though they were very, very hesitant to do that because they said the potential threat that it can bring to like existing systems, even like cryptography, is like real. And I feel like it was both a cool marketing and PR campaign from their side, like to get people, excited.
Right.
But I feel like it's also kind of true because we see the amount of hacks and data breaches recently, which would not be possible without AI development. So I'm curious on your take. What do you think? Are we screwed? Like, are we ready for this kind of revolution that is happening, or we'll see like way, way, way more breaches and hacks and loser?
We might have to retreat to like the woods and just start a village and be Amish. But I think this type of marketing has been done before, where we say, oh, this might break everything, to kind of hype things up and get people excited. But there could be, with new technology, like there always develops some virtuous and also malicious, unfortunately, ways to use it. So it is kind of Promethean in that sense.
Is Starknet Foundation prioritizing any agentic use cases for privacy as of now?
Agentic use cases for privacy. So Starkware is based in Tel Aviv. It's our partner. Yeah, it's our
Also based in Tel Aviv.
Oh, awesome, cool.
Me personally, but yeah.
So it's rife with big brain researchers, and they are looking into how Starknet's proving and verification capabilities can serve the AI industry. It's still in a research phase. So we do know that like it's really important, but we're not we haven't locked down like a specific customer or use case that can put Starknet to the best of use yet.
But you were exploring it.
Yeah, we're exploring it at the moment, and I think privacy will start with payments in some form. So we're going to start with humans at first and then see what we can explore with AI agents.
Cool. Um, Another threat that is ongoing and actively discussed is quantum computer. We at Phoenix take it very seriously. Once we saw like first Google reports a couple months ago, we started both like doubling down on it in our narrative and like messaging because FHE is widely considered post-quantum secure. And we also, of course, started exploring like how does our industry, take it? Do we take it seriously? Or maybe people think that, we're safe, we're fine. So I saw a lot of content on Starknet's accounts as well that like we're post quantum safe, all that stuff. Is it like big part of your product roadmap as of now, or just kind of writing the narrative?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with having, more juice to
There is
spin narratives about. But it is true, like we do care about quantum secure Bitcoin. I think everybody does. We don't really see it as an immediate threat at the moment. It does get brought up at conferences. It is not what moves the needle for users or investors at the moment. They're not quite convinced that like Bitcoin's going to crack open tomorrow.
Really? Because I got a little bit different vibe recently, like especially from institutions like larger investors. I feel like they started to at least like think about it when they saw Google's report.
Yeah, it's being brought up, and like we've interviewed, a few customers, and we've like whales. They view it as it's a positive, nice to have. Um, but if they get better yield elsewhere, they'll still just get
Yeah.
get better yield elsewhere, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely does. Yeah. So I think we're not taking it that serious as an industry yet.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, one of Starkware's researchers, his name is Avihu Levy. Shout outs to him. He put out a paper um, on like how to make Bitcoin quantum secure, and I think he's been getting a lot of good feedback around it, and it's cool to see Starkware kind of leading the charge when it comes to protecting the future of Bitcoin. And we're trying to make that like an inherent feature in StarkBTC as well. So we're all trying to protect Bitcoin because it's the best money. Yeah.
yeah. And I also like that Ethereum Foundation talks about that a lot. They like release the roadmap. So I think we'll still have time. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Cool. Do you think there is any like misconception around privacy that Starknet Foundation is trying to fight?
Hmm. Misconception about privacy. I think there's a misconception that if you want to do privacy, that you are doing something illegal.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a number one.
right. You're doing something illegal. You're up to no good. Um, but I think the the zeitgeist is kind of shifting more towards, oh no, institutions need to protect sensitive information if they even want to get into uh the on-chain world. It's it's a default in the web 2 world, and they should be able to uh selectively disclose what they want to disclose. And right now that is not a default in web 3 world. Everything is just out in the open. um and I think some people are understanding, but I don't think that's a generally agreed upon thing.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Um, I want to also talk about marketing, of course.
Yeah, sure.
um, I see that you're one of those teams who are actively pushing team-led marketing, founder funnel. I see Ellie like
Yeah.
very active on Twitter. And I wonder if that was like that from the day one. Was it like intentional from the day one? or it's just like the new trend that your team is exploring? And how does it actually convert for you guys?
So the crypto world loves its geniuses, with with polarizing like perspectives and voices, and Ellie is one of those, and he's a very, very intelligent and ingenious person. So we try to leverage where we can his voice, and I think it's if a startup has someone like that, it's a great tool to have, a figurehead who can be outspoken and be polarizing, and that's what gets impressions. That's what um, boosts token prices. No financial advice, but you got to use what you can, and it's not something that you can really fake either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But do all crypto teams need to become public? Because we talk about privacy, but then we also demand our teams and founders to be public. That's the case for me, at least. I demand that from them.
Sure.
And do they actually need to be building in public to be successful?
That's a really good question. I think if you're dealing with VCs and stuff, they probably want to know who you are, just for accountability reasons. And users typically want to know about the companies that they're investing in, or like who are these people that are custodying my funds, and do they have my best interests in mind? So it's a good way to establish like a trust relationship with your audience. But some people, maybe like in 2020, 2021, you had more anonymous uh, figures. You didn't know who they were. Um, it's not as normal now to be a completely
Mhm.
figure. It's hard to really name any from the top of my head that are still anonymous. Whereas a few years ago, especially in DeFi summer days, you had a lot more people just shit posting all the time, and because it was funny, they get a pass. That's like street cred.
You know how they say your anon PFP is holding you back?
Yeah.
And I see a lot of cases like that, and especially with startups. So like I do advise to like early stage startups on marketing, and the first thing they ask me like, how do we cut through the noise when we don't have funds? And I say just start like posting about it, do content, show up, stay visible, build in public after all. And they say like, oh, but like that is so like complicated. We don't know how to do it. And another thing they say is that, like, it's too late. Like we should have started building our like personal brand 5, 10 years ago. Now it's too late. I say it's never late to start. Like I started my own podcast just now, even though I'm in crypto for like 7 years. So it's never too late.
Yeah. People like really good stories. So
If you have something to tell,
yeah, it can go very far. Like a really genuine story that is, well adorned and well described and established in a succinct way. It can really stretch farther than you think.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we're in the US now. I feel like this American dream is something that still people like to see, how someone like was bootstrapping and their path started with zero and then they succeeded. So I feel like when you show up and tell like how exactly you're getting there, that's how you build strong communities as well and like bond with those people.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree, Club.
Um, I'm thinking we've got enough, but I just wanted to ask your take on uh, like the state of market now. Where is it all going? Are we like in the bear and the
Yeah,
pre-bull? Like, what are your personal
yeah.
takes?
All right, so the ETH conference right now, it's smaller than usual. Yeah, it's tiny, and it's the cycles are in waves. So, um, when there's a bull market, you could have a football stadium packed with booths and people running around and tourists. When there's a bear market, you see the same 20 people every day for a 3-day event. But I think the bear markets are the most exciting in retrospect because you have the coolest stuff come out in bear markets. Uniswap came out in 2018 when Bitcoin was like 3K. It was just blood on the streets. And the people who really stick around, obviously, are the ones who are going to be there through the long haul. So I'm pretty optimistic because there's still plenty of cool stuff being built in privacy, in DeFi, and I don't see the industry dying. I don't see all of us just pivoting to AI. I think there's still plenty of room to innovate and plenty of problems to solve. So there's still plenty of work left to do. And yes, you can make money still in this industry. Um, but I think gone are the days of like the easy 100x's and 10x's from like DeFi summer, from the ICO boom
Meme
of 2017.
coins.
Yeah, meme coins, pump dot NFT fun, and
Will it
all this.
come back at some point, you think? Or the market changed forever?
You know, I'm I wouldn't know because I'm not like a crazy gambler, dude. I'm just like a yield farmer, honest worker. I like the slow growth on Bitcoin, ETH. Call me a boomer, but I kind of stay away from like the huge, like from like the crypto casino type things. Yeah,
Say 4% are better than nothing, yeah.
I think so. Yeah, and the the people who have been most successful in crypto are the people who just invest and hold for years and years and years. They're not gambling every single day. But occasionally you have a friend that who's working on like a funny little cat coin, so why not just chuck something in it?
Did did you ape in Zcash when it's dipped recently?
I don't disclose my movements, unfortunately. But I do keep my
What was your reaction when you saw the news on Zcash, by the way?
I was surprised. So for those who don't know, there was an exploit discovered for Zcash, and it was patched over the weekend. And so there was a window between when it was discovered and when it was reported and patched. Arthur Hayes still didn't like it. He's like, there's no way to prove if somebody didn't infinitely mint Zcash. So obviously that caused a lot of FUD. That would make a lot of risk averse people want to exit entirely when you have this, allegedly quantum resistance private coin have like such a nightmarish vulnerability for all these years. There's no telling what you'll find on other chains. So like, of course, that would push people to make an emotional decision to just get out entirely. That would scare some people.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, I had a question while you were talking, but I
That's okay.
forgot. So, yeah, as I mentioned, I did not do too many things with Bitcoin, but can you tell us about StarkBTC?
Yeah, sure. So StarkBTC, it works just like any other Bitcoin wrapper, like Wrap Bitcoin or TBDC. Um, and in our ecosystem, it's probably the most traded, staked, borrowed against um, BTC asset.
Mhm.
Um, but it has this cool additional feature where you can shield and hide balances. We're also um, exploring this quantum secure Bitcoin narrative with that. Um, but we want it to be also the most utilized BTC asset for anybody with a Bitcoin asset on any chain that wants to shield on Starknet. So we hope to have a lot more distribution platforms, um, you know, such as like Garden Finance. Um, so it's the number one bridging platform when it comes to like Bitcoin asset to Bitcoin asset. And we think that that could be a great place to expose people in the Bitcoin space to privacy solutions. And so we're trying to see where it can show up, in other products with big audiences, so that people can know, oh, you have Bitcoin. Do you want to privately send it to somebody? Here you go. All you have to do is click this button to shield it, and then you can send it. So we we do think that StarkBTC can compete rather well as a DeFi asset and collateral. But my hope is for us to have that niche where when you think of hiding your Bitcoin balances and transfers, that you can do it through an app like Phantom or MetaMask, and all the bridging and shielding is handled in the back end. All you're doing is clicking a button that says hide my balances. So that's kind of the dream. Yeah.
Well, user experience indeed.
Yeah. Thanks.
So last thing, will privacy win?
I think that humans win if we have privacy as a default feature for when we purchase our first crypto. For when we make money movements. I think we win when the crimes go down and you know people are more safe. Yeah.
Yeah. So privacy will win. Bullish. Thank you so much for this chat.
Yeah.
It was
Thanks,
really
Angie.
pleasure.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you.